Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to finish off with this chapter with the last topics, which will tell us about the British administration, the civil services, which was started by the Britishers, which consist of the civil service exams, the police, the army, the judicial system, and the rule of law introduced by them. As we know, all of them were not beneficial for the Indians. Okay, so we're going to study about all these in the detail today, and we're going to finish off with this chapter. Okay, so let's start with it. Administrative setup under the company. East India Company came to India as a trading company, but soon it acquired political power. Warren Hastings, Governor General of India, introduced several administrative reforms, most of which were in areas of justice. As we all know that East India Company came to India as a trader, but later on they became the ruler of the country. Okay, and Warren Hastings was the Governor General of India in 1773 to 85. Now, when he was the Governor General of India, he brought many administrative reforms. Reforms means changes. Okay, most of which were in areas of justice. He had a major role in the expansion of company power. British territories increased, three administrative units called presidencies were created. These were Bengal, Bombay and Madras. So presidencies are from where the one rule, okay, the head office we can say. And administrative means where from to run the administration. So ब्रिटिश की तीन प्रेसिडेंसीज थी मेन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव यूनिट्स विच वर बंगाल मद्रास एंड बॉम्बे एंड जो ब्रिटिश रूल था इंडिया में वो थ्री मेन पिलर्स पे खड़ा हुआ था टिका हुआ था वन वाज द सिविल सर्विस द आर्मी एंड द पुलिस व्हाई बिकॉज as being the foreigners, they were unable to create a love or they were unable to win the hearts of the Indian people. So, to control them or to rule over them, they had to depend on the police and the army. Okay. Now, the civil administration, the civil service. Now, one by one, we are going to study about the civil administration system of the British. Under this, we have the civil service, the army, the police, and the judicial service. Now, Lord Cornwallis was the founder of the British civil service in India, and he started a system of open competition for recruitment, which came to be known as Indian Civil Service ICS. Recruitment means for the selection, okay? But the Indians were not allowed in this kind of service because Lord Cornwallis thought that the Indians are inferior and they are not capable of holding post of responsibility. Inferior means low in status or रैंक ओके सो लॉर्ड कॉर्नवेलिस ने इंडियंस को इस कंपटीशन में अलाउ नहीं किया था एंड अ फ्यू ऑफ इंडियंस had taken part might be they are little influential to them and the other reason is that mostly were not able to take part because the exams used to take place in England. Okay. So from the administrative point of view, British India was divided into district. अब इंडिया को प्रॉपरली एडमिनिस्टर करने के लिए ब्रिटिश इंडिया ने क्या किया, इंडिया को पहले डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में डिवाइड किया और डिस्ट्रिक्ट में कलेक्टर अपॉइंट किया टू कलेक्ट द रेवेन्यू. Okay, revenue means a certain amount of money which is fixed to be paid to the British either monthly or weekly. Then a magistrate to maintain law and order, a higher authority. Then a judge to administer justice, to check that whether the justice had been given or not, or his job is to provide justice to everyone. Okay, now the next one is the colonial army and its composition. So the army played three important roles in the expansion of British Empire. What was they? Army saved the company from the European rivals. Army conquered the dominance of the native rulers, means that army helped the British Empire to capture the uh, the area or the kingdom of the native rulers. Native मतलब जो इंडिया के ही rulers थे. They crushed revolts when they broke out. Crushed means they defeated the opponent rulers whenever the war had taken place. Now the composition. Indian soldiers were recruited but never given higher post. ब्रिटिश आर्मी में इंडियंस को लिया जाता था बट कभी भी उन्हें हायर पोस्ट नहीं दी जाती थी. ओके, देन द कंपनी सोल्जर्स वर आर्म्ड विथ muskets and the matchlocks, whereas Indian soldiers were given training in archery. See, जितने भी ब्रिटिश सोल्जर्स थे उन्हें स्पेशल काइंड्स ऑफ वेपन्स मिलते थे और जो इंडियन सोल्जर्स थे उन्हें सिर्फ आर्चरी में ट्रेनिंग दी जाती थी. आर्चरी मीन्स तीरंदाजी में. देन इन्फेंट्री रेजिमेंट्स वर मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. नाउ व्हाट इज इन्फेंट्री रेजिमेंट्स? इन्फेंट्री मीनिंग इज द सोल्जर्स विच आर ऑन फुट. ओके, जो पैदल चल के लड़ाई लड़ते हैं, दैट इज इन्फेंट्री रेजिमेंट्स. Then European style of training were given to the army, the modern style training. Then emphasis laid on maintaining discipline. British Empire का जो emphasis था, ठीक है, जो स्ट्रेस था वो डिसिप्लिन पे था कि हमारी आर्मी वेल डिसिप्लिन, वेल ट्रेन्ड एंड वेल इक्विप्ड होनी चाहिए. ओके, now the next one is the police. The police duties were assigned to zamindars, but a separate police department was created by Lord Cornwallis. See, zamindars are the land owners. तो पुलिस की ड्यूटी किसको दी जाती थी? जमींदार्स को. बट लॉर्ड कॉर्नवालिस ने एक अलग से सेपरेट पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट को क्रिएट किया. The thanas were headed by darogas. Darogas are the inspectors. Then district superintendent was the chief of district police, and the police was succeeded in curbing the anti-social element. Curbing means to keep a check on something. ठीक है, तो जो पुलिस थी वो बहुत सक्सेसफुल रही थीव्स, डेकॉइट्स और लुटेरों को पकड़ने में और ऐसे कामों पे रोक लगाने में. सो बट स्टिल इवन इन द पुलिस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन वाज प्रैक्टिस्ड अगेंस्ट द इंडियंस. इंडियंस को कभी भी, चाहे वो आर्मी हो या पुलिस हो, उसमें इंडियंस को कभी भी हायर पोस्ट नहीं दी गई, बिकॉज दे वर कंसिडर्ड not so fit for any kind of responsibilities. Only the English were considered for it. Okay. Now the judicial service. In the beginning, the administration was carried out on the basis of the traditional laws. Traditional laws means according to the caste, the people were given justice. Okay, according sorry, not on the caste, on the basis of the religion. So like Hindus were given the justice on the basis of shastra, and the Muslim were given justice on the basis of shariat. Shariat is a colonial book of rule or law, we can say, according to the Quran. Then Lord Warren Hastings introduced two kind of court for each district, civil and criminal court. Okay, now the two courts of appeal were set up, Sardar Diwani Adalat and the Sardar Nizamat Adalat. Then under the Regulating Act of 1773, the Supreme Court was set up at Calcutta. The codification of laws established in India is known to be the rule of law. Codification of laws means कि सारे law की एक बार that the rule of law. That means that each and every one is was equal before the law. Okay, so the codification of laws means that everyone was equal before the law, which is known as the rule of law. Okay, now what is rule of law? The rule of law is that everybody was considered equal before the law. Now, in the eyes of law, criminal was a criminal no matter to which caste or religion he belonged. Either he would be a British or Indian or of higher caste or of lower caste. If he had done some crime, that means he would be punished. But rule of law failed with its true meaning. Why? Because it failed to give sense of equality. The Indians were had separate court and the Europeans were had separate court. And letting off European criminal once he pays fine. अब यूरोपियन क्रिमिनल को सिर्फ एक जुर्माना या मॉनिटरी टर्म्स में जब अगर वो फाइन दे देता था तो उसे माफ करके छोड़ दिया जाता था, बट दिस वाज नॉट द केस विद द इंडियंस. देन एक्सपेंसिव जुडिशियल सिस्टम. इतना एक्सपेंसिव जुडिशियल सिस्टम था कि इंडियंस वर नॉट एबल टू गेट बेनिफिट ऑफ इट. Then equality before law was not for poor people. Even the poor people were given more harsh punishment than any European person. Okay, children. Now the last topic of the chapter, conclusion. Indians were given no share in the administration. They were very well fooled off by the British Empire. Indians were not given any post of responsibility. Britishers never regarded India as their own country. They had stayed in India more than a century, but still they had not thought, they had never regarded India as their own. Okay, the established rule of law that lacked equality. Equality नहीं थी उस rule of law में. Laws were systemized by the government. Everything runs according to the written laws. जितने भी laws थे वो ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने एक सिस्टमैटिकली लिखे हुए थे एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर विश. ओके, और जो कुछ भी वो इंडिया में करते थे उन रिटन लॉज के हिसाब से करते थे विच वर ऑफ देयर फेवर और बेनिफिट वी कैन से. Okay, children. So I hope the chapter is clear to you by now. Still you find any problem, please do ask me. And please read the chapter again very carefully, the complete chapter. Now it's time for your homework. Now today you have to do question number 6 and 7 of exercise D. Question number 6. Explain how was the system of administration of the company different from that of the Indian rulers? Answer is East India Company came to India as a trading company, but soon it acquired political power. Number 2. By the suppression policy, they acquired three administrative units called presidencies. Number 3. The British rule in India stood on three pillars: the civil service, the army, and the police. Number 4. They had to depend on the army and the police for keeping Indians under control. Question number 7. What changes were introduced in the composition of the company's army? Answer is Indian soldiers were recruited but never given higher post. Number 2. Company soldiers were armed muskets and matchlocks, whereas Indian soldiers were given training in archery. Number 3. Infantry regiments were more important. Number 4. European style of training. Number 5. Emphasis laid on maintaining discipline. So with this question, we finish off with this chapter. I hope you have understood, and still if you feel any problem in the chapter, please do ask me and read the chapter carefully. So that's all for today. Thank you.